My name is John, and I spend way too much time thinking about the cleaning products under your sink. And I know what you're thinking. John, this is supposed to be about money. Why are we talking about cleaning supplies? Here's the thing. The average American household spends between $600 and $700 per year on cleaning products. That's according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics consumer expenditure data. But here's what gets me, and this is what really keeps me up at night. Most people have no idea they're essentially paying a 300 to 500% markup for bottles of water with a tiny bit of cleaning agent and a whole lot of marketing. If you're someone who's trying to cut expenses but feels overwhelmed by where to start, or if you've ever stood in the cleaning aisle wondering why a bottle of spray costs $12, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Look, I'm going to be really honest with you. For years, I was that person filling up my cart with Method and Mrs. Meyer's and feeling good about myself because at least they smelled nice and had pretty packaging. I was spending probably $40 to $50 a month on cleaning supplies alone. And I justified it because, I'm an adult, I have a home, this is just what you do, right? Wrong. This is where it gets really interesting, and this is the part that actually made me angry when I figured it out. The cleaning product industry is worth about $61 billion in the United States alone. That's billion with a B. And they've done something absolutely brilliant from a business perspective, but terrible for your wallet. They've convinced us that we need a different product for every single surface in our home. You need a glass cleaner, a wood cleaner, a granite cleaner, a stainless steel cleaner, a bathroom cleaner, a toilet bowl cleaner, a floor cleaner, a carpet cleaner. It's insane. My grandmother cleaned her entire house with vinegar, baking soda, and soap. That's it. 3 things, and her house was spotless. Here's what most people don't realize. The active ingredients in most commercial cleaning products are incredibly cheap. We're talking pennies. A study from the Environmental Working Group found that the actual cleaning agents in a typical all-purpose cleaner might cost the manufacturer about 15 to 25 cents per bottle. The rest of what you're paying for? The bottle itself, the branding, the advertising, the distribution, and most importantly, the profit margin. You're literally paying for the privilege of carrying their marketing message out of the store. Now you might be thinking, okay, John, but I don't have time to make my own cleaning products. I'm busy, I have a job, I have kids, I have a life. I get it, I really do. But here's the thing. Making your own cleaning products takes less time than driving to the store to buy them. I'm going to show you the actual math on this, and it's going to blow your mind. Let's start with an all-purpose cleaner, because this is the workhorse of any cleaning routine. You can buy a bottle of something like Lysol all-purpose cleaner for about $4.50 for 32 ounces. Seems reasonable, right? You'll probably go through one of these every couple of weeks if you're actually cleaning regularly. That's roughly $117 per year just for one type of cleaner. Now here's what you can make at home. Mix 1 cup of white vinegar, 1 cup of water, and about 20 drops of essential oil if you want it to smell nice. Though honestly, the essential oil is optional. The vinegar smell dissipates as it dries. Let's do the math. A gallon of white vinegar costs about $3.50 at most grocery stores. That's 128 ounces. You're using 8 ounces of vinegar per 16-ounce batch of cleaner. So from 1 gallon of vinegar, you can make 16 bottles of all-purpose cleaner. That's about 22 cents worth of vinegar per bottle. The water is essentially free from your tap. We're talking fractions of a penny. If you want to get fancy with essential oils, a bottle of tea tree oil or lemon oil costs about $8 and has roughly 300 drops, so that's about 53 cents per batch. Total cost per 16-ounce bottle of homemade all-purpose cleaner, 75 cents. And it works just as well, if not better, than the $4.50 commercial version. Over a year, if you're making the equivalent of 26 bottles of all-purpose cleaner, you're spending about $19.50 instead of $117. That's a savings of $97.50 on just one product. But we're not stopping there, not even close. Here's where the psychology comes in, and this is absolutely critical to understand. The cleaning product industry has spent decades training us to associate clean with scented. When something smells like artificial lemon or lavender or fresh spring rain, whatever that means, our brains register it as clean. But the truth is, clean has no smell. Actually, truly clean surfaces are odorless. What you're smelling in commercial cleaners is perfume. That's it. It's not doing any cleaning, it's just making you feel like you cleaned something. This psychological manipulation costs you real money. According to research from the Harvard School of Public Health, fragrance consumer products, including cleaning supplies, contain an average of 17 chemicals that aren't listed on the label. Some of these are actually classified as toxic or hazardous. You're paying extra to expose yourself and your family to potentially harmful chemicals that serve no functional purpose except to trick your brain. Look, let's talk about disinfecting because I know someone's going to bring this up. John, vinegar doesn't kill germs like bleach does. You're right, it doesn't. Vinegar is a mild acid that kills about 80% of bacteria and 99% of viruses, according to research published in the Journal of Environmental Health. For everyday cleaning, that's more than sufficient. But if you need something stronger, say someone in your house has been sick, here's what you do. Hydrogen peroxide. A 32-ounce bottle of 3% hydrogen peroxide costs about $1.50 at most drugstores. You can use it straight from the bottle as a disinfectant. It kills 99.9% of bacteria, including staph and E. coli, and it's incredibly effective against viruses. Let it sit on surfaces for 5 minutes, then wipe clean. Compare that to a bottle of Lysol disinfectant spray for $6.99 for 19 ounces. You're getting almost twice the volume for about a quarter of the price, and it's actually safer because hydrogen peroxide breaks down into water and oxygen. No toxic residue. Now let's talk about laundry. This is where people are really throwing money away. The average American family does about 300 loads of laundry per year. A typical bottle of Tide or Gain costs about $15 and makes maybe 64 loads if you're using the recommended amount, which, let's be honest, most people use way more than recommended. That's roughly $70 per year just on detergent. Here's the DIY version that I've been using for 3 years now, and my clothes have never been cleaner. 1 bar of Fell's Napa soap or any pure soap bar costs about $1.50. 1 box of washing soda, not baking soda, washing soda, which you can find in the laundry aisle, costs about $4 and is 55 ounces. 1 box of borax is about $5 for 65 ounces. You grate the soap bar, mix it with 1 cup of washing soda and 1 cup of borax. This makes enough detergent for about 80 loads, and it costs you approximately $5 total. That's 6 cents per load versus 25 cents per load with commercial detergent. And here's what really blows my mind about this. It actually works better on my clothes. Commercial detergents are full of fillers and optical brighteners that don't actually clean, they just make your clothes look brighter under certain lighting. The DIY version actually removes dirt and odors without leaving residue. My towels are fluffier, my workout clothes don't have that lingering smell anymore, and my sensitive skin doesn't react to my clothes like it used to. Let's keep going because this is where it gets really interesting. Glass cleaner. You're probably buying a Windex at about $4 for 23 ounces. Here's the formula that professional window cleaners actually use. 2 cups of water, half a cup of white vinegar, 1/4 cup of rubbing alcohol. The rubbing alcohol is the secret ingredient. It makes the solution dry, streak-free. A 16-ounce bottle of rubbing alcohol costs about $2 and you're using 4 ounces per batch, so that's 50 cents. The vinegar is maybe 10 cents worth. Total cost for 16-ounce bottle of homemade all-purpose cleaner, 75 cents, and it works just as well, if not better, than the $4.50 commercial version. Over a year, if you're making the equivalent of 26 bottles of all-purpose cleaner, you're spending about $19.50 instead of $117. That's a savings of $97.50 on just one product. But we're not stopping there. Not even close. Here's where the psychology comes in, and this is absolutely critical to understand. Bathroom cleaner. These specialized toilet bowl cleaners, tub and tile sprays, mold and mildew removers, you're easily spending $20 to $30 a month if you're actually keeping your bathroom clean. Here's the thing. Baking soda and vinegar will handle almost everything. For toilets, pour a cup of baking soda into the bowl. Let it sit for a few minutes, then pour a cup of vinegar in. Let it fizz and do its thing for about 10 minutes. Scrub with the toilet brush, flush. For stubborn stains, hydrogen peroxide does the job. For soap scum on glass shower doors, straight vinegar in a spray bottle. Spray it on, let it sit for 5 minutes, wipe off. If you have hard water stains, make a paste of baking soda and water, scrub it in, rinse. Baking soda costs about $1 for a 1-pound box at most grocery stores, though if you buy it in bulk from somewhere like Costco, you can get a 13-pound bag for about $8. That's 62 cents per pound. You could clean your entire bathroom twice a week with less than 5 pounds of baking soda. That's about $3 in baking soda versus probably $300 in specialized bathroom cleaners. Now, you might be thinking, okay, John, I see the math, but doesn't this take forever to make all these different cleaners? Here's the psychological shift you need to make. You're not making a different cleaner for every surface. That's what the marketing wants you to believe you need to do. In reality, you need maybe 3 or 4 basic solutions that handle everything. Your all-purpose vinegar spray, your baking soda for scrubbing, your hydrogen peroxide for disinfecting, and your glass cleaner. That's it. You can make a month's supply of all of these in about 15 minutes. Let me walk you through what this actually looks like in practice. Once a month, I set up what I call my cleaning supply assembly line. I have 4 reusable spray bottles that I bought once for about $2 each at Target. I have my gallon of vinegar, my box of baking soda, my bottle of hydrogen peroxide, my bottle of rubbing alcohol, and my essential oils if I'm feeling fancy. I put on a podcast and I spend 15 minutes filling bottles and labeling them with a piece of masking tape and a marker. That's the entire time investment. Here's what most people don't realize. The barrier isn't actually the time or the effort. The barrier is psychological. We've been conditioned to believe that the store-bought version is somehow better, more effective, more trustworthy. There's this perception that if it costs more, it must work better. But that's not how consumer products work.
Now, here's where the compound interest comes in, and this is where my brain really lights up. If instead of spending that $500 per year on commercial cleaning products, you invested that money in a simple index fund earning an average of 8% per year, which is conservative based on historical stock market returns, after 10 years, you'd have about $7,800. After 20 years, you'd have about $24,700. After 30 years, you'd have about $61,000. You're not going to get rich from making your own all-purpose cleaner, but you're also not going to build wealth by ignoring hundreds of small expenses that add up to real money over time. This is what I mean when I say I spend too much time thinking about this stuff. Because it's not really about the cleaning products, it's about the mindset. It's about recognizing that personal finance isn't just about the big decisions like buying a house or choosing a career. It's also about the daily, weekly, monthly decisions that we make on autopilot without questioning whether there's a better way. Here's what I want you to do after watching this video. I don't want you to go out and immediately try to replace every single cleaning product in your house. That's overwhelming and you'll probably give up. Start with one thing. Make a bottle of all-purpose cleaner. That's it. Use it for a week, see if it works for you. If it does, great, you've just started saving money. If it doesn't, or if you hate the smell of vinegar even after it dries, fine, try the glass cleaner instead, or the laundry detergent. Find the 1 or 2 swaps that make sense for your life and your preferences. The goal isn't perfection, the goal is progress. Even if you only replace half of your commercial cleaning products with DIY versions, you're still saving $250 to $300 per year. That's real money. That's a car payment. That's a month of groceries. That's a meaningful contribution to your emergency fund. And here's the psychological benefit that nobody talks about. There's something incredibly empowering about not being dependent on consumer products for basic household tasks. Every time I spray my homemade cleaner on my countertops, I'm reminded that I don't need some corporation to tell me how to take care of my home. I'm reminded that I have agency, that I can figure this stuff out, that I don't have to accept the default expensive option just because it's what everyone else is doing. Look, I know some of you are still skeptical. You're thinking, this sounds great in theory, John, but I tried making my own cleaner once and it didn't work. Here's the thing, there's a learning curve. The first batch might not be perfect. You might use too much vinegar or not enough. You might forget to shake the bottle before using it and wonder why it's not working as well. That's normal. You didn't get good at your job on the first day. You didn't nail every recipe the first time you cooked it. This is a skill, and like any skill, it gets easier with practice. One common mistake people make is giving up too quickly. They try one DIY recipe, it doesn't perform exactly like the commercial version they're used to, and they conclude that DIY cleaning products don't work. But here's what's actually happening. Your expectations have been shaped by years of marketing. You expect cleaning products to be bright blue or smell like artificial lemon. When you use something that's clear and smells like vinegar or doesn't smell like anything at all once it dries, your brain tells you it's not working even though it absolutely is. Another mistake is not giving the products time to work. Commercial cleaners are full of chemicals designed to work instantly because we've been trained to expect instant results. Natural ingredients often need a few minutes to break down grease or dissolve soap scum. If you spray vinegar on soap scum and immediately wipe it off, yeah, it's not going to work as well as a commercial product. But if you spray it, wait 5 minutes, then wipe, it works beautifully. Patience is free. Use it. Let's also talk about the environmental impact for a second, because even though this is primarily a personal finance channel, the overlap here is significant. The average household generates about 4.5 pounds of trash per person per day. A shocking amount of that is packaging for single-use products, including cleaning supplies. When you make your own cleaners, you're buying bulk ingredients in reusing spray bottles. You're creating way less waste, and less waste means lower garbage bills if you're paying by volume, fewer trips to the curb with heavy trash bags, and honestly, just a lighter footprint on the planet. I'm not going to pretend I'm some perfect environmentalist, but I will say this. When your financial interests align with environmental interests, that's when change becomes easy and sustainable. I'm not making my own cleaners because I'm trying to save the planet. I mean, that's a nice side benefit, but I'm doing it because it saves me money and works just as well. The environmental benefit is the bonus. Here's another thing people don't think about: storage space. When you're buying 12 different specialized cleaners, you need room under your sink or in your closet for all those bottles. When you have 4 or 5 simple ingredients that you can mix as needed, you free up so much space. I cannot tell you how satisfying it is to open the cabinet under my sink and not have it be a chaotic mess of half-empty bottles falling over each other. Now, I promised I'd give you actionable steps, so here's exactly what to do. Step 1, take inventory. Go through your house right now and figure out what cleaning products you currently have and what you're spending on them each month. Write it down. This is important because you need to see the actual numbers to really internalize how much money we're talking about. Step 2, don't throw anything away yet. Use up what you have. There's no point in wasting money you've already spent. But as you run out of each product, that's when you replace it with the DIY version. Step 3, get your supplies. You need white vinegar, baking soda, washing soda, borax, hydrogen peroxide, rubbing alcohol, and a bar of Fell's naphtha or a similar pure soap. If you want essential oils for scent, grab those too, but they're optional. All of this will cost you maybe $25 to $30 up front, and it'll last you months. Step 4, get some reusable spray bottles. You can find these at any Target, Walmart, Amazon, wherever. Get at least 3 or 4. Make sure they're labeled so you know what's in each one. Step 5, make your first batch of all-purpose cleaner. 1 cup vinegar, 1 cup water, 20 drops of essential oils if you want. That's it. Use it for a week on your countertops, your stovetop, your bathroom counters, wherever you'd normally use all-purpose cleaner. Step 6, track your results. Keep a note on your phone or a piece of paper on your fridge. Write down when you make each batch, how long it lasts, and how much you spent. This serves 2 purposes. It helps you see the savings in real time, and it helps you refine your process. Step 7, expand gradually. Once you're comfortable with the all-purpose cleaner, add the glass cleaner, then the laundry detergent, then the bathroom cleaner. Take your time. This isn't a race. Here's what's going to happen, and I can say this with confidence because I've seen it happen with so many people. You're going to be shocked at how easy this is. You're going to wonder why you didn't start doing this years ago. You're going to feel a little bit angry at how much money you've wasted on overpriced cleaning products. And then you're going to start looking at other areas of your spending with the same critical eye, asking yourself, what else am I overpaying for out of habit rather than necessity? That's the real value of this exercise. It's not just about the $500 a year you'll save on cleaning products, though that's great. It's about developing the mindset of questioning default assumptions about how much things should cost. It's about recognizing that just because everyone else is doing something doesn't mean it's the smartest financial choice. It's about taking control of your household expenses instead of letting corporations dictate your spending through clever marketing. Look, I get pushback on this sometimes. People say, John, my time is valuable. I'd rather pay for convenience. And you know what? That's fine. If you've run the numbers and you genuinely value the convenience of grabbing a bottle of Windex off the shelf more than you value the $50 or $60 per year you'd save by making your own glass cleaner, then by all means, buy the Windex. I'm not here to judge your priorities. But here's the thing. Most people haven't actually run those numbers. They're making decisions based on habit, not based on conscious choice. They're not thinking, is the convenience of store-bought all-purpose cleaner worth $97.50 per year to me? They're just buying it because that's what they've always done, because that's what the parents did, because that's what the commercials told them to do. All I'm asking is that you make the decision consciously. Look at the numbers. Consider the time investment, which again is about 15 minutes per month. Think about what else you could do with that $500 to $600 per year, and then make a choice that aligns with your actual values and goals rather than with some marketing executive decided you should buy. This is what personal finance is really about. It's about intentionality. It's about understanding that wealth isn't built through one big dramatic decision. It's built through hundreds of small, smart decisions compounded over time. Making your own cleaning products is one of those small, smart decisions. It's not going to make you a millionaire by itself, but it's going to save you real money. It's going to develop your resourcefulness, and it's going to train your brain to think critically about spending instead of just accepting the status quo. So here's my challenge to you. Try it for 3 months, just 3 months. Make your own all-purpose cleaner and your own laundry detergent. Track how much you spend versus what you would have spent on the commercial versions. At the end of 3 months, if you hate it, if you think it's not worth your time, fine, go back to buying the commercial stuff. But I'm willing to bet that once you see how easy it is and how much money you're saving, you'll never go back. And here's the beautiful thing. Once you develop this mindset, once you start questioning these default assumptions, it spreads to other areas of your life. You start looking at your phone bill and thinking, wait, do I really need this premium plan? You start looking at your subscription services and thinking, am I actually using all of these? You start looking at your grocery receipt and thinking, could I make this myself for less? This is how you build wealth, not through some get-rich-quick scheme, not through winning the lottery, not through hoping your boss gives you a massive raise. You build wealth by taking control of your spending, by questioning everything, by refusing to pay the convenience tax on things that aren't actually that inconvenient to do yourself. The cleaning products industry is counting on you not to think about this stuff. They're counting on you to just keep buying their products because that's what you've always done. They're counting on you to value convenience so highly that you won't spend 15 minutes a month to save $600 a year. They're counting on you to believe that their products are somehow superior, more effective, more trustworthy than what you could make yourself with basic ingredients.